Guys, during the last couple of months, I've been telling you that I believe that Bitcoin was gonna go on a massive bull run. And yes, we have gone from $16,000 to $31,000, which is nice, but today I am going to show you why Bitcoin is actually going to reach $100,000. Much higher than $100,000, in fact, in this bull market. So guys, this is something you will want to stick around for. I'm going to show you the proof. So if you're thinking about holding Bitcoin, if you're holding Bitcoin, this is something you will want to know. So I'm also going to talk about what I see happening for Bitcoin in the short term, in the long term, and everything else. So welcome back, everybody. My name is Chris, bringing you cryptocurrency videos every day, teaching you how to make money in this market. If you are new to the channel, then make sure to subscribe and activate the bell right now. So let's begin, guys. And we have seen Bitcoin go above the bold orange line. We talked about this yesterday. We managed to break through it, had a pullback, found support. Right now, we've been supported multiple times here on the bold orange support level. Now, this is a good level to hold, and the longer we stay above this, the higher the likelihood for us to have another impulsive move up. In fact, to me, it looks very clear that this wants to go a little bit higher. Now, later on tonight, we're going to have the futures market open up, and look at how the traditional market closed for the futures. We closed with a big red candle here. So we had consolidation, and this is why Bitcoin also was pumping during the weekend, because we had consolidation here and we had a pullback, and now we saw Bitcoin pump, and now we're gonna see when this opens up. If we see us come up here and break through this level, 4,475, that will inspire a lot of confidence in the traditional markets, which could mean that Bitcoin was gonna have a big pump as well. So let's keep an eye on this. We're right below the very important resistance here on the traditional market. So we're keeping an eye on that. But let's talk about Bitcoin again, because if I talk about the shorter time frames, it's looking like this, and it looks like it wants to go higher. If you look at something like the daily time frame, we've been talking about this wedge, and you can see that, in fact, we have recently come up here. In fact, yesterday we did come up to the edge of this wedge here, got a little bit of a resistance level or rejection of this resistance. How are the moving averages looking? So the moving averages on the daily time frame are actually not, let me just do this. So yeah, you can see that the 50 period moving average on the daily time frame is right above also this edge here. So this downward sloping resistance, and then right above it you have at around $27,000 you have this downward sloping moving average as well. So key levels to keep your eyes on. However, there is another way to draw this. So this is how it was looking like. You can see it very clearly here, hitting the levels here. But since then, we've had a drop below it. We went inside of it, got supported, had another drop below it. So there's another way to actually do this, and that is from the wicks. So doing it from the wicks, something like that. Yeah, I mean, let's see. Yeah, something like this, perhaps, something like that, connecting all of the wicks here. And in that case, we're still inside of this. So remember, the first wedge I had drawn, Bitcoin is probably going to respect this level on this way of drawing it, and also on the previous way of drawing it from the previous structure. So both of these are going to be respected, but we will see, guys. This is actually pretty interesting to see. This is a massive wedge. It's been forming since April, actually. So we're keeping an eye on that. But Bitcoin is looking bullish, guys. And remember when I talked about Bitcoin catching up to traditional markets? I showed you this yesterday as well. And yeah, traditional markets have been on a big run. And I'm actually going to make a separate video about how I am going to, I am more or less, I'm going to get deep into Bitcoin right now, guys. I mean, I think that now is a very good time from a risk to reward standpoint, not financial advice, but from my point of view, now is a very good level to get in at from a risk to reward standpoint. And I'm gonna make a full separate video, so there's a lot of things to unpack. So if you want to know exactly why, then I'm gonna release that strategy video in a couple of days. So make sure to subscribe, activate the bell, most important thing, if you want to see why I think that now is an extremely good time to get into Bitcoin if you're gonna hold for a little while longer. Now, let's talk about, and this is also very important, of course, on the weekly time frame here. So we are approaching the halving, which is very, very bullish. For Ethereum, you can see that we've gone down a little bit for Ethereum here, hitting the resistance, going down, and now being actually trying to break through this resistance level right here multiple times, 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and now being supported right on the support level right here. So key things happening across the board. And for my trading strategies, they have been doing a tremendous job so far. You can see, in fact, the fast bots are now, and this is usually what you see, like over time, the fast bots tend to outperform the other two bots, the cycle bots and the slow bots. So over 50% on the Ethereum fast bot, about 50% on the Bitcoin fast bot, so about 20% on the slow bots. And keep in mind also the Ethereum fast bot has accumulated 5 positions. So if this continues to go down, Ethereum price continues to go down, and we have like 7, 8 orders filled, then as usual, I will adjust the take profit price to the lowest possible. But for now, just keeping it running. And the Ethereum cycle bot is still holding 8 positions here. So it is still waiting for an opportunity to get out there. But the Bitcoin cycle bot is doing very well as well at 43%. So I'm going to keep these open as usual, and by the day, every single day, the profits are growing with these trading strategies. So that is absolutely fantastic. As always, you will be able to see everything on the channel. And if you want to use these trading strategies yourself, I am using OKX. So if you want to use them, you can go to the link in the description, claim up to $60,000 with this link right here. And once you have actually set up your account, claim the bonuses, you can go down and set up these bots right here. With one click, you can set up these bots and start trading in the same way. Now, also, the hedge bots are in profit, which is absolutely fantastic. So the best performing one is the Ethereum hedge bot, almost 10% on this one. So that's absolutely fantastic. Now, let's talk about why Bitcoin is going to reach $100,000, more than $1 million eventually, and definitely perform very well in this bull market. Now, I've been talking the last couple of days about how we've seen one of the biggest bullish news for crypto basically ever happen during the last few days. Now, that is, of course, the BlackRock ETF being filed. And I do think it's only a matter of time until it is going to get approved. And by the time it gets approved, you are going to see crazy things happen. Exactly how crazy are you going to see that happen? Remember, BlackRock were really the ones who took gold from a market cap of $1 trillion up to $13 trillion. How did they do that? Well, basically, they have a very nice incentive mechanism for all of the financial advisors out there. So basically what happened is that BlackRock wanted to push their gold ETF, and they have all of these financial advisors earning fees pushing their products. Remember, BlackRock has 3 out of 5 of the biggest gold ETFs out there. Now, the financial advisors, they could earn about 3% in advisory fee. And if you have hundreds of millions of dollars of clients' funds, that adds up to quite a significant amount of money. And also the most important thing is you want to be one of the first people to push this. So what actually happened is that BlackRock, when they launched their gold ETFs, they had all of these advisors working with them, and they wanted to push this new product because they wanted to earn that 3% fee. Now, just like he says here, advisors eager to push the product and get commission on a new asset class began to tell boomers that gold was the perfect component to round out a portfolio and hedge against inflation and other risks. And this is, of course, the perception we have today. When we talk about gold, when we discuss it, people always say, like, you should have gold in your portfolio. It should be part of a diversified portfolio. So it led to all of these clients, all of these financial advisors, all of this money flooding into the gold ETFs. So you can see the demand was also driven, of course, by then central banks buying gold as the demand went up. And this is basically how it went. So this is how it went from $1 trillion to $12 trillion in market cap, because BlackRock was launching these products, and BlackRock had very good incentive mechanisms for all of these financial advisors who had not even hundreds, but trillions of dollars in assets being managed, flooding. And guess what? Now with the digital age, all of these new financial advisors, guess what they are going to push? Once this ETF gets approved, they are going to say, Bitcoin needs to be part of a diversified portfolio. And they want to be one of the first people to push this because they want to earn that 3% over time. So they will push this narrative. Billions of dollars is going to flood into Bitcoin. and you're going to see Bitcoin go on a massive run. Now, when are they going to get this ETF approved? Will it take half a year? Will it take 1 year, 2 years, 3 years? Who knows? But just understand this, out of 576 ETFs that BlackRock has filed, 575 have been approved. So they have a massive track record to get this ETF approved. And yeah, once that happens, things are going to go absolutely ballistic. So you need to be prepared for that, guys. This is why I am actually going to go more or less all in Bitcoin. By using these trading strategies, definitely, of course, continue to do that, but also piling in. Just like I've been saying, every single dip is for buying inside of the steel box. And we've had a nice opportunity actually when we went down here to $24,000. I mean, the lower we go, the more I'm going to buy, but I definitely want to increase my Bitcoin exposure. Again, I will make one entire big separate video about my thesis. So activate the bell. I will go in depth into why I am going to add so much Bitcoin to my portfolio. Now, what you can also see, guys, is that the amount of Bitcoin being sold right now is basically coming from people who recently bought. There's not old Bitcoin being sold. Old Bitcoin is being held right now. So you're seeing like player versus player. You're seeing people try to game the market, and Bitcoin is being sold by the same amount of participants, like people buying and selling from each other. But out of the people who accumulated way back, you're not really seeing those Bitcoin being sold. And also, one key thing to understand is the S&P 500, the gains you've been seeing in traditional markets. If you take out the top companies, the top 7 tech stocks, well, they basically represent 30% of the entire S&P 500. Now, if you take away, and they are up 15% on the entire index, but take away that, and the S&P 500 traditional markets is only up 3%, which is absolutely worse than what Bitcoin is up. So take away the major players, and the S&P 500 is only up 3%. Now, there's going to come a time when the gains people have been having in NVIDIA, Apple, and so on, just like with Bitcoin, like when you see Bitcoin go on a massive run, that tends to sooner rather than later flood into altcoins, and you can have 50x, 100x, 200x in altcoins. Same thing right here. When the major stocks like Google goes up, sooner rather than later, some of those funds are going to find its way to smaller companies, and smaller companies are going to also have enormous gains. That is typically what you see. And at that point, also Bitcoin is going to go on a massive run, because Bitcoin is seen as like a risk asset, just like these smaller companies, apart from the bigger ones. So guys, a lot of things to look forward to. Trading Strategies continues to absolutely do a fantastic job here. I will continue to update you over time, but over 50% on some of these bots still here. So fantastic. Make sure if you want to take advantage of this, check out the links in the description. And guys, I will see you in the next one.